But the same thing is with like our vendors. All of my vendors, if I call them up, they'll do everything within their power to get me a part, and I can do that without getting nasty with them because we're partners. We're true partners.
Yeah.
And that's what I told Austin when I brought him on board. That's what I want to develop with all you dealers too. We're partners in this, you know.
Yeah.
That's the only way we'll survive.
Because we want to, if we're selling, you're selling, and if customers are happy, everybody's happy, right?
Yeah.
That's like.
But I mean, we're in this to give you the best possible product we can.
Yeah.
You know, we're not in here to give you an inferior product.
Yeah, that's really cool. How long have you been
So I've been in the RV industry since 2015.
Okay. It's about 8 years.
Yeah, prior to that. So I got out of high school and I spent 10 years in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
And then moved back here and worked at another manufacturer on the production side of things in nearly every capacity imaginable.
Yeah.
Learning all of that stuff, and then got brought over to Puma from Maynard. Got me over there, running some things over there.
He was looking for a job, and with his expertise, I didn't have anything to suit his situation right at the moment. But I brought him in with the idea that I'm going to put him in a different position eventually.
Yeah.
But he came in as my head receiver at the Puma facility.
Okay.
But because I needed help to get that thing going on, but I knew what his capabilities were. That's why I brought him in, with the knowing that that's not where he's going to end up at. But with the experience and how he's already been involved in the industry.
Yeah, so I came over to this facility, probably July of last year, right as our first two chassis were rolling in the door.
Yeah.
And the reason for that was a couple different things. One, so that I could learn.
Well, we wanted him from the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I want him to know everything that goes into the unit from the bottom up. You know.
The worst thing is calling a parts or warranty person and they don't even know how the trailer works or how it goes
right,
together.
Yeah.
I wanted him an understanding of how the trailer actually goes together and how everything functions.
The other portion of that too was every day for a couple of 3 hours, the plant manager and I would go over their previous day's work throughout this whole proto process. And quite literally I'd sit on a bucket and think to myself, okay, if that component goes bad, how do we fix it? How do we change it? If the way that we're routing these wires or running these water lines, if something happens to that, how do we fix it? Or is that going to be an issue the way that we're doing it?
Yeah.
Day after day after day doing that, with the idea being by the time we went live with production that, 95% of those little nuances that would normally eat somebody alive would be thought of and taken care of prior to that.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. So this area is kind of in shambles. We're in the process of redoing a few things, but with the amount of space that we have, you have to make mess of one space in order to get another space taken care of. So the idea here behind this whole area is upstairs we have this huge mezzanine, and then we have one up here. So all of our parts that we would stock would be located up there with a parts puller. So at the end of the day, we would give them the next day's parts orders, and that person would go upstairs and put the parts in bins with the order, bring it down the chute, and then person in here grab it, box everything up, ship it in the system, put the label on, set it outside the door, UPS picks it up.
That's awesome.
So we invested in a foam machine. So usually a lot of the manufacturers, they'll just bubble wrap it and try to keep stuff from getting damaged in transit. We invested in a foam machine, so you want to talk?
Yeah, so this foam machine is amazing. Actually, we sent a countertop to Colorado, 3/8 inch solid surface countertop freight to Colorado, and made a crate similar to the one that you see there. Spray foam the bottom, set the countertop in there, and then put the other little bits and pieces in there, spray foam the top, and then as it was rising, closed the lid, nailed everything shut. And we tested it before. We took a junk countertop, put it in that crate, did everything, and held it up here and just slammed it down on the ground to see what would happen.
Yeah.
And slammed it down, crate busted all the pieces, but the countertop was still good. So we're trying to think
That's really cool.
of every little thing, because when you have a customer that is, you know, they can't do something, they can't go on a trip, they can't go camping because something is broken, the worst thing ever is to get the part out in a timely manner, and then it gets there and then it's been damaged in transit somehow. So
or it takes forever to even
Right.
get the part out there, right? Because if you can't freight it, you know what I mean? It's just
trying to figure out a way to just mitigate that small little thing could be what saves a relationship, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If it's in need of saving. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
I love it. Just the little details.
When I brought Dylan on board, I told him, you know, he's not going to be like any other sales guy. I said I want him to actually know what the heck he's talking about. Because he goes to a lot of these RV shows, and
Yeah.
these sales guys, they'll blow you full of. They don't even know what they're doing, what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, Dylan is hands-on. He's out on the shop floor. He knows the trailer from top to bottom. So I mean,
He does.
He knows every part and piece that goes in. He knows what's going on. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, we've.
So we're trying to be different product, different process, different warranty, different sales, everything.
Different culture.
We're trying
just with
to improve on everything, not just one part of it.
Yeah.
But this is still a work in progress. We just built this part of the mess, so we got to get railing and stuff around it like that, and we got to get everything organized. So it's not on racks and. But this will be where we run warranty for all my facilities.
So this is my humble abode. I have one person working for me right now. His name's Nestor. He does all of anything that has to do with parts, anything that has to do with parts cataloging. You know, when you guys would get on the portal and want to order a certain part or whatever.
Yeah.
Everything that you see when it comes to parts on there is because of Nestor.
All our parts have pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of the things that you would order would have a picture attached to it. Some of the things that I'm working on right now is the biggest thing for me is a pause specific owner's manual.
Yeah.
What I'm working on is this right here. So I'm up to about 60 some pages.
Okay.
And it goes through every single button on the tablet, what it does, why it's there, what to expect, sequence of operations.
Did you see that one already? Shane?
I don't know if I have seen that one.
He did an awesome job of that. So that explains the Garmin.
That covers
what every screen in the Garmin.
Oh yeah, just the MORRIDE.
Yeah.
And it's like I love it, the pictures too.
So there's an electronic version online somewhere, right?
On Dealer Connect, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
what?
Well, so over the years, just being in the industry, like the only thing that I've seen that does manuals like this is if you spend $500 to $1 million on like a Newmar or a Monaco, you might get a really in-depth manual.
Yeah. So the end goal of this is to not only cover the tablet, but cover all the little things about
just how it functions,
about the trailer. Like, for example, the Garmin app, let's say somebody's tablet doesn't work.
Yeah.
They instantly would freak out, obviously, because they have no control over the camper. But do they know that they can put the same app on their phone, and control it from there? Do they know that they can put the Victron app on their phone? Do they know how to winterize it, retract the awning manually? What happens if your suspension compressor takes a crap? How do you get it to
get air up
to where you need to go, limp it there? And it covers everything: draining the auxiliary tank, pre-storage tacks, changing a tire, lift points for the frame.
That's really cool.
Connecting your Wi-Fi Ranger to an external Wi-Fi source.
Yeah.
The goal of all of this is to sift through all of those owner's manuals and get rid of all the garbage that the customer doesn't necessarily need to know about initially.
Yeah.
And just put the pertinent stuff in there.
Yeah.
Things that they need to know. And it would be really nice for a customer if they had a problem, they could go in there to the manual and say, oh, hey, this portion talks about the suspension. Let me go there, and they can figure out.
Simple, yeah.
Because what we've come to find is, I mean, even with myself, is when I first started messing with it, every everything that I thought was a problem was not a problem. It was a user error.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So goofing everything up and putting it in weird positions and all that stuff, I learned that it was my fault. It wasn't the system's fault.
Yeah.
And that just setting expectations and standards and then managing those along the way.
For sure. It's amazing how more stuff is user error than it is like the system, right? You just but the issue is if you don't know, you don't know, right?
Right.
And most people, they go and buy a trailer from a dealer and they don't get a good walkthrough, and then the manufacturer doesn't provide good manuals, so no wonder why there's so much user error going on in the industry as a whole, right? Because you just don't have it.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So that the goal would be every trailer that leaves the factory would have a hard copy of the manual in the trailer, and then that same manual would be preloaded on the Garmin tablet too.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool.
You're working through and we're making videos of like all the features of our units and how to operate everything.
Yeah, I like this. I think we're gonna go make some videos too. We'll do some supporting cast, I think.
So from a warranty standpoint, my thought process when it comes to pause is that we don't supply just a product. We're supplying you're buying an experience. You're buying
ROA has an experience center, right? That's what you call
a relationship.
Yeah.
It just so happens that experience and that relationship comes along with a trailer.
Yeah.
So from a warranty standpoint, when it comes to customers and dealers, and warranty has this like bad apple that just kind of floats around with it, because you're fighting for one thing, warranty is fighting for another thing, and all of that stuff. But when I look at warranty stuff, I'm not looking at what can I do to push this off. I'm looking at what can I find here to make this go forward? Like, how do we fix this problem? If it's
well, that's what I was talking about, where we want you guys to be our partner.
Yeah.
Like if you bring an issue to us, we don't even want to argue with you. If there's an issue, we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
On the same token, we don't want you to nitpick stuff apart either. Just where we have that true partnership.
Right.
Yeah.
Where if it ain't right, it ain't right, and we fix it and we make it right.
Yeah. Seems.
So where we have that, we don't want that nitpicking, that going back and forth.
Yeah.
If it's an issue, then it needs to be fixed, and we fix it.
Yeah.
But we need to be true partners in that.
Yeah. Customer first, and whatever battle you need to have on the back end with whoever it may be.
Yeah.
We can have that battle, whatever that battle looks like, but let's do what we need to do to get the customer taken care of, to enjoy the product. And then we can
happy and on the road.
We can have whatever conversations on the back end we need to have.
It's so refreshing though to hear it, because it's not like we deal with a lot of manufacturers, and it's not like this all the time. There is friction. Sometimes it feels like, to me, it's like, like an insurance adjuster when you crash your car or when something happens. It feels like you go onto this criminal trial and they try to figure out why it was your fault, and they don't need to pay you anything, right? And that's sometimes how warranty feels with the RV industry. It's like, will you messed up, user, you know what I mean? And they're always like trying to blame it on the dealer, on the customer, and you're just like, man, this is so, like when I take my truck into the dealership, they just kind of like fix it. It's like,
well, they know Dodges need fixed, so they just fix it.
Yeah, they know. I know, right? Yeah. No, but you know what I'm saying? It's just because like this point of friction, and then that's why the whole industry as a whole has such a bad reputation, I feel like,
Right, we were true partners and we're honest with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, we can make all that go away.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's a lot of things that we do and that you do that go into mitigating all of those problems, and just understanding that and knowing that you guys have expectations for our product, and knowing that from a warranty standpoint we have expectations from you guys is huge.
Yeah.
And it's not a surprise, if you put in a warranty claim and I kick it back for pictures or whatever, it's not because I'm trying to push this off. It's because I can't approve it until I have pictures, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not
or
this,
you need to
this back and forth,
understanding.
but understanding our system and the expectations that we have to have met in order to move forward is a huge thing too.
Yeah, for sure. In the end, it's just like you said, the customers first, right? We want to get them on the road, and internally we go back and forth and figure it out.
If we need to yell at each other on the phone for a little bit afterwards, whatever. Leave the customer out of whatever they need to be left out of, just so they can get down the road.
But at the end of the day, if there is a warranty issue, we want to figure out why there was a warranty issue.
Yeah.
Right.
And then try to eliminate that problem so it don't pop up again.
Well, this is something like that I've heard you say a dozen times probably, and the times that I've seen you here and there, you constantly say, this is a warranty problem, this is a warranty, this is a potential warranty problem. And I just think, I like that. That's something that you're constantly thinking about.
Well, that's one thing that I've learned since I've started this project. There's stuff that I would like to have on this coach, but I can't have it yet because there's a potential of a warranty on it.
Yeah.
Where it hasn't been tested and proven and through.
Well,
so there's a couple of different things that I don't put on the coach yet because there's a potential it could cause warranty.
Well, yeah, and it's like a new shiny thing, but it's not truly been out in the market long enough to realize if it's like it might just be shiny, and if it breaks and it's shiny, nobody.
That was bad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's the same thing that you were talking about with your ACs. You said you went with the Truma because it went through the testing facilities and really.
I mean, Truma is definitely more money, more expensive.
Yeah.
But once we visited there, that's a facility that I should take you over to see.
I'd love to.
Because once I walked through their facility and talked to that guy, I was like, I got to have them on board.
Okay.
Because when they build that, they don't try to source the cheapest products they can. They try to get the best of the best.
That's why you synced up with them so well, because you think the same way.
Because we have the same thought process.
Yeah.
And after I walked away from my meeting with them, I was like, I got to be on board with those guys.
Yeah.
Because they got the same thought process we do.
Yeah.
They're not just out there trying to get the cheapest product out there. They're trying to get the best product out there.
Yeah.
The warranty process, I think that's probably worth mentioning, is whenever I have a warranty claim, I print it out with pictures and go with the plant manager and his crew and go through line by line and say, don't worry about this one. This was a transport damage. It's nothing that you guys did in the production process, but this
is an issue.
This is an issue that we caused or we didn't catch.
Yeah.
And so relaying that information to them and knowing that from VIN number 35 and before, we might see this problem. But if I see it on VIN number 36 or after, then we need to revisit the conversation. But
that's really cool.
So
to make sure it's like,
and that's even with vendors too. I had a microwave that didn't work. It didn't heat and it wouldn't turn off. And so we got the microwave back, and the vendor is taking the microwave to figure out exactly what's going on with it. But we try to we try to include everybody in the entire process. I mean, not just the warranty process, but I'm over in that building just as much as I'm over here.
Yeah, if you don't go to the production
stuff, and Brian is over here, working with our CAI facility, and me, a couple times a day, just like he's over at the production facility. And Maynard's like a ninja, he's all over the place. So
he has secret tunnels that he probably goes into pop up.
Well, the joke is whenever I ask where Maynard's at, and somebody was like, "Oh, he's just over there in that other building," and I said, "Well, he's probably in like New Jersey by now." It's all over the place.
But then,